Meanwhile, Sunday, Chelsea take on Palace. It's Newcastle, Fulham, and Spurs take on Arsenal. I want to start things off by talking about Chelsea. Not necessarily a clash against Palace, but what we've seen develop over the last few hours, because we thought Mudryk would be heading to Arsenal, Jules. Welcome, hello, Jules. However, it looks like Chelsea have come in and hijacked that deal.
That's right, Dan. The deal was completed today in Turkey, where Shakhtar are in the sort of winter break, if you want, training. Ekbali and Winstanley travelled there, the Chelsea owner and the Chelsea sporting director, and in a few hours only wrapped up that deal. They basically gave Shakhtar all they wanted, which was £70 million in transfer fee, plus a potential 30 million of add-ons that are, I think, quite easily reachable, to be fair. So it would be 100 million if everything is put together. And for Mudryk, it would be a 7.5-year deal, like the one that we saw Chelsea giving Badiashile, with a big pay rise compared to what he's earning right now at Shakhtar, and even bigger than obviously what Arsenal were ready to offer him. So it's a deal that trumped what Arsenal were offering. It's a deal that basically Chelsea gave everything to the penny of what Shakhtar wanted, and that's how they made that deal happen.
7.5 years, Craig.
These deals just, Jules mentioned it a few days ago. These deals just seem crazy. This money just seems crazy. The belief was the player wanted to go to Arsenal, but obviously that's changed. Whether it was the money or not, I don't know. But yeah, this just seems like throwing a squad together, doesn't it? Like, see what sticks.
It's almost like Forest 2.0. Like, obviously, we talked about Nottingham Forest making all these signings, and Chelsea have kind of taken that and gone, well, we're going to...
It's a more expensive version, isn't it?
It really is. 100 million.
I mean, it's such a double-edged sword. It's such a double-edged sword because the kid's a good player, and he looks as though he could be a great player, but he's only 21. And it's a lot of money, and obviously he's going to play, but he's coming into a team that is all over the shop, which is the last thing you need as a 21-year-old and an up-and-coming talent. You want to be going into a side that's settled and doing well. This guy's going to land, he's going to stick his boots on, they're going to get beat, and it's going to be his fault. I mean, it's just a complete and utter gamble, isn't it?
Jules, I don't mean to go all gab on us, but is there financial fair play? Does that count? Is that even a thing?
What?
Yeah, at some point it will. Chelsea, once that deal goes through, and we expect it to be tomorrow, he will be in London. I wouldn't be surprised if the deal, he's got his medical plan for tomorrow. It could even be announced before the game against Palace. He could well be at the ground as well. And when that will be closed, their spending will already be £153 million just for this January transfer window, which is, if you count the other 19 clubs in the Premier League, they spend roughly £100 million. So Chelsea on their own have already spent in 2 weeks more than the rest of the whole Premier League, like they did in the summer, of course, where they spent over 250 million as well. So it starts to be a lot. So they will have to sell at some point to balance the books, at least. If for the length of the contract, Craig is right. It's obviously a very long contract, and you commit a lot of money, because if you pay a player like Mudryk 12 million net a year over 7.5 years, that's a lot of money. However, the amortization of your transfer fee is also spread over those 7 years. So you pay Shakhtar, over the 7 years. So it's another way, I guess, of spreading a bit the cost. It's still a huge, maybe even obscene amount of money.
How's Potter, you think, about this, Craig?
No idea, mate.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a rabbit in the headlights at the moment, isn't he? He's got players out injured. He's got players coming in. He's got crazy transfers. He's got people calling for his head. Can't get a result. Expected to beat Palace tomorrow. Will that happen? I don't know. I've no idea, mate. I bet he's wishing he never took the job now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. He is, Nadem, looking more and more like Mark Ogden every day, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Is there any way this can work out, do you think, between now and the end of the season?
With him as manager, do you mean?
Just as this whole policy as a whole.
To be honest, I don't know what this policy is. They're clearly just bringing in tons of players, but they're trying to compete, and they believe this is the way to do it. But what I really worry about is when everybody is all of a sudden available. You know, if that injury room is all of a sudden empty and you've got 25 to 30 players, of which maybe 20 to 23, 24 are senior players, like, who do you pick? What is the settled side? How do you keep people happy? How do you keep someone happy that's on a 7.5-year deal that thought they might be playing because you promised that to them, say, maybe 2 months earlier? I think it's a really testing situation for him. I think for as good as he is as a coach and potentially as a manager, you know, this is the ultimate test, to be at a club with such great expectations, but then have the issues that they have. But I think he'll probably learn from this, try and find a way. And for them, they just need to win. They just need to win tomorrow, buy some time. Then once you start winning, find some like performances which people can really believe in as well, and then bring back some of those players who are injured. And yeah, I think best thing is just try and get this transfer window closed so they can just focus in on what he has and not worry too much about who could potentially just turn up at the training ground in Cobham and say, hello, I've signed and I'm here for the next 8 years. But I think he's a good coach. I think he'll do fine. But wow, what a test this is for him.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.